No, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm a proud member, that is, of the coalition of interests led by the UNC and Kamala Prasad Bisasa. First, I must say, oh good, look at people. Very important because the enemies are attempting, of course, to downplay the revolution that is Kamala Prasad Bisasa, the UNC, and that of the coalition of interests. We must be proud. We must say loudly. We must be forceful, and we must continue to say that nonsense is nonsense. And when, of course, you give us cacophonous babblings for what I consider to be logic, and the manifestation is not with the people in terms of their circumstance, we know we must tell them where to go. Go, go, go Rowley, go Young, go B&M, and give us a chance to breathe. Yes, indeed. Give us a chance to breathe. But tonight, of course, very, very passionate, and I have a limited time, so I need to concise what I have to say in a way that will do justice to this august organization formulated and, of course, created by Kamala Prasad Bisasa. Very important to me. And I want to tell you, because there are those who believe that this is Johnny-come-lately and Papa party business. No. We have been here since 2007, man. We were part of the UNCA, man. Understand that. So those critics who believe that there is a pop-up something, I tell you that it could never be so. But you see me with a truckload of documents in my hand. It is merely part of my prop. I will not, and I cannot, and does not have the time, of course, to extrapolate. But what I wanted to do was to tell you, speaking directly, of course, to the Laventille community. Laventille must be part of the 39 constituencies that will vote for the UNC, Kamala Prasad Bisasa, and the coalition of interests. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We must. We must. And there are those who believe that somehow we must not make the transformation. Some look at it as transgression. Transgression of what? Or from what? How could you and dare you say that Laventille must remain in this, what I consider to be quagmire, this devilish, naked abuse and retrogression that Laventille has been subjected to over the past several years under the PNM, and therefore we say that enough is enough and we must get rid of you, and we do so next week Monday. I ain't talking 28 again. I ain't talking that again. No. Next week Monday. Decision making day. Next week Monday, man. Just not waste time. Just not waste time. But I want to tell you this, because this is for the media, of course, that are here and wherever they are, because tomorrow we're having, of course, a press conference to, of course, address several issues. Because you see, when it is coming to, of course, moral and ethical standards, we cannot afford hypocrisy in high places. We cannot afford, for example, that Rowley tells us that when you are in public office, you have the highest standard of integrity, of transparency, of accountability, and then, of course, giving us some historical antecedent to suggest that somehow, when in 1962 we formed our independence and therefore our independent constitution, and then again, of course, in 1976, when, of course, we formed the Republican Constitution, that we would have come of age. But yet still we have our political leaders that would have been part and parcel of the natural, I shouldn't say natural, no, that's not the right word. I should say part and parcel of the consistency of managing the affairs of this country since 1956. And here it is today. We are seeing, of course, that organization has morphed into a criminal enterprise. Let us not waste time with that. The PNM is a criminal enterprise because one thing I would like you to evidence yourself of to prove that. One thing alone. Dr. Rowley came into the sphere of politics under a PNM banner and carriage and told us that he met a bankrupt PNM. He told us that. He gave us a figure. He told us that $5 million the PNM was owing. That is what he told us. And in 9 years' time, you're billing now a multi-million, 100 million and counting monstrosity called Balize House. That by itself tells me that that is hypocrisy in public office and that you have stolen from the people. That is blood money, man, painted in red. Blood money, blood money, blood money, blood. You see, integrity is important. Integrity is still important. And when we did the examination, after, of course, the PNM under Rowley, back in 2015, told us that the UNC thief, that Kamala is this, that Kamala is that of course, they're looking for them all over the place. Blue lights and silver bracelets. He introduced that in the political lexicon of this country. That's what he did. And then when we did the examination, and as my colleague would have said, and Master of Ceremony, that listen, we did the research and we looked at it, and we looked at it on the basis, let me tell Trinidad and Tobago and elsewhere, we looked at it on the basis of mega projects. And when we looked, and mega project in the context that the PNM has been in office for 9 years, and therefore any evidence of corruption, nepotism, cronyism of the type they spoke, we would have, of course, or they would have had abreast of it because they have all the documents and all of the information since they control government. But guess what? When we look at the velodrome, the cycling velodrome, when we look at the aquatic center, when we look at the children's hospital, we still call it that. When we look, of course, at the debate campus, and when we look, the most poignant of them all is that of the 106 schools that Rowley couldn't find, and of course, the great and still great Minister of Education, former Gopi Singh, pointed it out in the Parliament of the country. Give the UNC a round of applause for being so damn honest. They cannot come with that hogwash now and regurgitating that again. They have to answer as to where they got the money from to build Balize House. And let me tell you this. Rowley is on record saying that not a contractor contracted under the PNM was engaged on that project. But let me tell you this, because I was the one had to do the research. And I want to tell you this, that, and I'm saying it on this platform, Jusamco was pouring concrete on that Balize House. Jusamco is significant to say Jusamco and identify that particular company. So not only did he say that, but when we match it with the evidence, it shows that Jusamco was pouring concrete in a big advertisement, so it's there in public for the public to see, observe, and read, and of course research. And you would see that it was pouring concrete on the foundation of that monstrosity called Balize House. There's a significant reason why I am pointing to Balize House as part of my presentation tonight. You see, it is USAMCO that got the contract to construct that piece of the highway that ultimately fell into the swamp below. It was USAMCO, of course, a member of the Junior Sammy conglomerate, if you want to call it that. But very significantly, Balizé House has been responsible for the decadence, the turmoil, the evil, the destruction of our young people, our homes, physical, our infrastructure, by way of neglect in Laventille and environs. That is where I'm going. And I want to tell them, tomorrow we are having, as I said, a press conference on the subject. Because you see, these fellas are hollow. I say that they are unashamedly dunce. They are unashamedly cowards. Because here it is. I have a document in front of me. I'm not going to read it. I didn't come here for that. Tomorrow in the press conference you will get it, but let me give you the essence of it. This is a pre-action protocol letter from Stuart Young, the current so-called Prime Minister, a total lame duck and a moron of exceeding proportion. And this, just the introduction, so you will have an appreciation. It comes, of course, from the chamber of Alistair Shea, Govan, and of course it says, Mr. Lennox Smith, of course, where he was before in terms of the ground report, I'm not going to mention that, but pre-action protocol letter. So it's coming from it's a legal document, and it said, defamation of Stuart Young, published on the organization that we belong to before, on May 13, 2020. And it says, just one paragraph, I instruct Mr. Anthony Bullock, we act on behalf of the Honorable Mr. Stuart Young, MP, Minister of National Security, and Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister. My client is an attorney at law, yeah, right. But with over 19 years of practice, he's also, and it gave us, of course, a number of things, including, of course, being in the Prime Minister's office. But the essence of this is that he said that we defamed him. We defamed him. And of course, we have another one with respect to, I have to wind up now, another one with respect, of course, to Rowley himself. Rowley himself, I sent a pre-action protocol letter to him. The man never responded. And let me give you the dates. This date is the 5th of October, 2023. White, of course, he sent in pre-action protocol letter and he taking everybody to court all over the place. And I calling him all kind of thing every night, every day, on the ground report, on corridor transformation. He would not respond at all. And of course, all of that will be revealed tomorrow at 10 o'clock at 55 George Street, where we have, of course, our information and, of course, communication center. Have a wonderful rest of the night. And let me say to you, Monday is here. Monday is here. Act as though Monday is here. And of course, when Kamala and the UNC and the coalition of interest wins, everybody